right here. Let's get it popping.
I actually sat down with Will and had a conversation. He gave me his blessing.
After August Alsina claimed he had a relationship with Will Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, the Smiths were silent. But not anymore, with Jada making a major statement on social media on Thursday. The 48-year-old actress hit up Twitter writing, "There's some healing that needs to happen, so I'm bringing myself to the red table." It seems safe to assume that that tweet was about the August drama. And of course, the Red Table is a reference to Jada's Facebook watch talk show, Red Table Talk.
Well, the Red Table is a place of testimony.
August has actually been a guest on the show before.
And then we got Og here, who, my mother is 64, August 25.
Yes.
And he is at the beginning stages
Yes.
of a clean life.
Now, it's unclear when Jada will be addressing the topic on her show, but new episodes typically drop on Fridays. Romance rumors between August and Jada had circulated for a while, and in 2019, fans speculated that the musician's song Nanya was written by the 48-year-old actress. At the time, August denied those claims.
People don't necessarily know the truth, but I've never done anything wrong.
But during a recent interview with Angela Yee about his new album, The Project 2 State of Emergency, the 27-year-old singer claimed he's lost money, friendships, and relationships over the rumors.
People can have whatever ideas that they like, but what I'm not okay with is my character, being in question. I'm not a troublemaker. I don't like drama. And I also don't think that it's ever important for people to know what I do, who I sleep with, who I date, right? But in this instance, it's very different because, as I said, there's so many people that are side-eyeing me, looking at me questionable about it.
That's when he claimed Jada's husband of 22 years actually gave him permission to move forward with Jada.
I actually sat down with Will and had a conversation due to the transformation from their marriage to life partnership that they've spoken with several times, and not involving romanticism.
Mm-hmm.
He gave me his blessing.
Will and Jada have long been rumored to have an open marriage, something they've denied. But they have admitted to having a non-traditional marriage, opting to call each other life partners rather than husband or wife. In fact, last year, Jada revealed that they don't celebrate their wedding anniversary.
It's more of a life partnership.
Yeah.
So it's not steeped in
That day.
in that day.
Yeah. So there's no
We don't really celebrate that day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anymore in that sense, because the context of our union is totally different.
yeah.
And in 2018, Will opened up about his marriage during an interview with Tidal's Rap Radar podcast.
We refer to ourselves as life partners, right? Where you get into that space when you realize you are literally with somebody for the rest of your life. There's no deal breakers. There's nothing you can do, ever. Nothing that would break our relationship. She has my support till death.
All right. The first topic here on this Culture Club is August Alsina versus Jada Pinket Smith. Before I get in all to that, let me have y'all introduce yourselves. We got over here in the top right corner. Who is that in the top right corner?
Oh, it's me. Hi, everybody. It's Olivia Rose. How are you?
The bottom right corner, who do we have?
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Martel Star.
And in the bottom left corner, do we have him? Is he there? He's not there. He is not there. He has left the room for the time being, which is interesting because, oh, there you go. All right, let's see. Is he there?
He has a Black
I'm so
Panther hat on.
sorry.
Okay, so we still don't have the Black Panther hat, sir.
I asked, y'all didn't tell me which one. Hey, it's
I know he
me,
had to do
Corday.
wardrobe changes in order for him to come up in here.
Okay, just put a hat on and come on.
I like the outfit. It looks nice. It matches
That
with
looks
my.
swanky, honey. You are giving us, yes.
Yeah, it looks nice on my. It matches my little ticker down here, the top color.
It's me, Corday. Corday sings.
Corday sings. All right, so we are going to talk real quick, real brief about this August Alsina thing. So my first question is, do y'all think it's the truth or a lie? Because Jada Pinkett Smith has come out, or by way of one of her reps, has come out and denounced all of August Alsina's claims. And so my thing is, I just feel that it's too thick of a story for August Alsina to just make up and be like, you know, this was my life for a couple of years with Miss Jada Pinkett Smith. And I don't know. I believe August Alsina. What makes it worse for me, though, is when Jada Pinkett comes out and denounces all of that. And so for the last decade, we've heard many of rumors of Will and Jada being swingers. You know, Will having certain situations going on, Jada having certain situations going on. Come on, Black Panther switch. And so I don't know. I believe August. What are your guys' take on all of this?
For me, there's been rumors about Will and Jada for years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just think the timings is really uncanny, particularly because no shade, August Alsina has been off the scene for a long time. I remember he was like sick first at some point, like he was paralyzed and hospitalized, and he had a lot going on. So now he has this new music coming out. And so this is the time that I want to drop this story where, I mean, no shade. I know his album dropped. I don't know how much attention it got, but I know this story is getting a lot more attention than his album did. So I know if my music don't sell just with my music alone, y'all gonna get my music one way or another.
Okay.
So, I mean, all in all, though, I don't know if I believe him, though. I can't 100% say that I do believe him. Actually, I don't believe him. I just don't. Something about it just doesn't feel right. And then then too, in that second sense, I just feel like he shouldn't put that information out. That probably was information for him to share in the first place, if it was true. Like, so why all of a sudden are you choosing this very moment to share that, other than the fact that you have new music out?
Okay.
I mean, who knows?
Okay. Miss Olivia has taken quite a few sips of that drink in that glass that she's drinking over there. Miss Olivia, do you know some tea that we don't know?
Will and Jada ruin lives, honey.
Ooh. Why do we say that?
I'm saying Will and Jada have had a track record of ruining lives of those who may speak ill towards them. So you could call it Scientology like some of them other people do. You could call it like blacklisted, blackballed, all of that. Guess what? I'm not sure what kind of lanes that these people have access to that I have access to, but that is what I will not comment on. I have thoughts.
Let me find out you scared to say what your feelings are.
I have receipts of thoughts, but I can't put my trends out there. I would just say that if it walks like a duck.
Oh my God.
Okay, Mr. Corday.
And I'm not talking about August Alsina. Hold on, pause. I am not talking about August Alsina. I am definitely talking about, I have receipts of, and when I say receipts, I mean video and photographs of stuff that isn't in alignment with the position of what I am told by that camp.
Okay. Corday, are you there, sir?
Yeah, August Alsina is my ex. We used to do it quite frequently, and I'm not a bottom, so I doubt it's true. But they was good girlfriends. I'm joking. I believe it. I believe that they had a little situationship for quite some time.
August was
No,
fluid. Isn't he fluid?
Who?
August Alsina. I mean, I thought that was like, oh shit. I thought that was known that he was fluid.
I don't know. I guess that's another
I
conversation for another day.
Secret.
I think everybody who's industry bound is allegedly fluid, but that for me, that's conversation for another day. When it comes to August and Jada, I think it was a true story. I don't think he's lying. You got to think about it. These are two moguls in the industry, and for me, it just didn't come off as a lie. There's too much history there. There's too many, situations where they've been in the same circle, and I'm sorry, it just doesn't seem. Now, I do agree with Martell. It was convenient. It was very convenient. But me being an artist, if it was my situation, I would have enjoyed that convenience as well. But his album did get a lot of traction.
Did it?
Yeah. We got to remember, music is not the same as it used to be, where when an artist gets traction, you see it absolutely everywhere, radio, blah, blah, blah. Like, nobody would ever guess, like, how many streams I probably have on my music. Like, it got traction, and it has trended through my Twitter and those kind of things. So, kudos to August, and live it up, player. But I think they was girlfriends too.
I think it's great.
Even if they were fucking. Okay.
I mean, but it becomes a big deal when Jada Pinkett denies everything. So now it's.
Why wouldn't she? She wants to keep a certain kind of image.
No, yeah. She's the red table talk, Iyanla Van Zant guru of you need to make sure you live in your truth and all of that. So
take it to the grave, Jada.
Yeah, like
because at the end of the day, how important is this to life? Like people give a fuck, but somebody like me who really gives a fuck. Like when I saw it on the topics, I'm like, yeah, okay. But like, who really gives a fuck?
So then that makes me want to ask the next question. How do you guys feel about open marriage?
I believe in it.
Okay.
I don't know because I've crossed two bridges when it comes to it. When it comes to, I don't feel like anyone is your possession. That I'm in alignment with Jada. Like no one is your possession. But at the same time, I have felt a sense of soulmate where I just don't feel an attraction to anyone else. But they've been together for all their lives, so no judgment zone here. I feel like if it is working for you, it's working for you.
Okay, Martell.
However, be honest about it.
Could you do an open marriage, Martell?
I don't like the phrase open. I'm very open to the idea of like a poly. We discussed before. Like I'm super open to like a poly situation, but I'm very much like, again, like no one is anyone's possession. I don't own anybody. Right. But in that same sense, I know that if I'm sleeping with you, you can't sleep with other people.
I'm kind of like, I don't know. Okay, so I'm a little bit. I feel like I'm biased, but then I'm weird. I don't know because I feel like I'm a full top, so I don't like penises at all. So I kind of feel like I don't care what you do with your penis, but I just really don't want to know. And I guess in a sense, yeah, I just don't want to know, and I don't care what you do with it because I'm not gonna do nothing with it, and you might need something done with it. Just don't let me know or let me find out.
Very interested about this. Like, I don't know why that became a very interesting thing. But it became very interesting.
So she was gone for a minute, if y'all know this, and she pop up.
Right, she did just come out of nowhere.
She was like, "Oh."
Wait. Wait.
I think if it works for you, then let it work for you. I think we are I think I'm so surpassed what society has proclaimed my life should be like. And I wasn't able to figure any of that out until I hit my 30s. But who gives a damn or a flying F what anybody thinks, as long as you're happy and you're not doing damage to anyone else, is how I feel. What do you guys feel about B. Simone being canceled? She put out a book. She put out a book.
A pamphlet.
I think Olivia wanted to say something.
What was that? So basically, y'all like can't about Miss B. Simone.
No, I didn't say. I didn't understand why we were canceling her.
Oh. Okay.
Oh.
Sorry, I had to adjust my air. It was so cold.
Okay.
I didn't understand why we were canceling her.
So plagiarism is cool in your mind.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh.
I thought we were talking about the Nick Cannon 9 to 5. I didn't know the plagiarism thing happened. See, I'm
a lot of things happen.
Really fast. a lot of things happen. Something about her making some kind of reference to what happened with George Floyd, and then her creating this book and being a top seller with this book, making millions with this book. And the book is like basically like a makeshift coloring book. With filled with plagiarism and her literally copying and pasting.
What is the book about?
So
it's a self-care type book.
Right, for women to be better and to stop wearing lace fronts and to stop, wearing makeup.
How can people plagiarize that when it's an idea and people can take
She took it verbatim from another book, allegedly. I tried to catch up on it today, and they allegedly showed the original page versus her page, and it was like a verbatim page taken. My thing about it is, this is what happens in our culture today. You have these people who are influencers via social media, whatever, and all of a sudden they think, I'm an influencer. Oh, well, now I'm a motherfucking author. Oh, I have all these businesses and I'm a CEO of all these things, or I'm a CEO of all these things. I have all these LC, the LLC. Let's be honest. Like, when you jumping into these businesses, if you don't educate yourself, if you don't get that background, you don't get that education, then you're going to be subjected to this. So it ended up being blamed on her manager. And she ended up saying, well, I'm going to take full accountability for it. I'm the coach. My team should have did X, Y, and Z. And the thing is, girl, you can't put out a self-care book or a self-motivation book or influence book and you weren't 100% a part of it. I don't believe it. You should have never sold millions, but that's the climate that we're in. One person does something, everybody jumps on it because they're influencers. For what? To be what? Fooled.
Okay, so I don't know if that's canceling.
Yeah, no counselor.
I don't know if that's canceling kind of material. Like, that's not enough for me to cancel you.
I agree.
I think it's more so just the fact that she was pushing this whole like be self-made, be your own girl.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, so then she missed
the greatness.
She missed the mark.
But I don't know if that's a cancellation.
But see, here's the thing that
he was raping little boys or little girls. That's a cancellation. A cancellation is she's sitting here trying to bleach her skin and talk about why, you know, being who she is not appropriate. A cancellation is her like talking about, you know, that, you know, the gays need to be burned in hell or some shit like that. That's a cancellation. But her not writing the book appropriately, that's like a flub. It's like, okay, do better. Next time, do better, boo. But it's not canceled, it's do better, boo.
I don't think I agree with her. I feel like don't counsel her like as I guess as a person, but I just really hope like us seeing that we have to counsel all these people for all these like crazy petty ass reasons, that we need to hold ourselves more accountable and our culture more accountable and do better in general, because we should not let our brothers and sisters, cousins, friends release books and you know you ain't write this shit. Be more involved, be more motivational.
I'm not holding B. Simone to a standard that I don't hold what's it, Kelly Ripa too? Because come on, she done had some flubs too.
Well, yeah, but I'm not talking about her.
Simone to a standard higher than her white counterpart.
Are we saying that white people and black people should be held to the same standard? That's what we're saying.
Everyone should.
Oh yeah, definitely. If they're not, that's the exact definition of racism. So yeah.
Okay.
In consumerism, and so the problem is that am I gonna cancel her? No. Am I gonna expect her to do better? Yeah, do better, girl. But then let's come on. This girl is like, I don't even think she's 30. She is embarking on an entrepreneurial endeavor that is larger than she is, and she doesn't have the experience nor the business acumen nor
my point.
Figure out what's going on. So no, the problem is that she is supposed to rely on her team. So don't fault her relying on that. She is supposed to rely on her team. Don't fault her for hiring the appropriate help around her, because real business people and real CEOs hire people around them to get things done.
Yeah, I get that. But we're talking about an interpersonal book.
Because of inexperience. She didn't know that these people might talk a good talk, but they don't walk the walk. That's like, okay, so she made a mistake and she'll figure it out next time. But that's not a cancellation. It's a do better next time. She's not even like, I didn't even understand how a business should really work until I was about 36.
Yeah, but we can't make
mistakes.
But I get that, and I love that we're all being innovative and we're pushing our ideas or whatever. But at some point, and this is just me, in my opinion, and how I feel about us giving so much credit, clout, and giving so much attention to these influencers that we've never heard. Like, you're saying, well, you know, she's not 36, she's not this, she's not that, she's just learning. Well, girl, how are you influential enough to write a self-care book?
Right,
but you can't.
I agree to that.
And that's just me. I don't want that, but I'm saying I get where you're coming from. But for me, I don't want nobody. It's not a shine. It should not be a shine if you can't author your own book, baby.
Right.
If you can't author your own, if you cannot write, how can you call something a self-care? I'm not arguing that one. If you're gonna write a self-care book that is supposed to be, I am a woman-made person and I'm self-made, and you can't write it yourself, then baby, you need to go take journalism, you need to go take some grammar classes, and you need to go make it happen, because you're taking direct pages. Did you see the page?
It doesn't matter.
No.
She's different. She's not doing anything different than a lot of these other celebrities, and I'm gonna give her.
I'm not comparing her to nobody else. I'm comparing her to her.
You came out of nowhere and put something together out of nowhere. So at minimum, yes, she can influence people to show them, hey, this is how I did it. This is how I did it, and so you can attempt to do it this way. And so there's nothing wrong with that. Don't try to take her stripes away. What I will say is, okay, honey, you didn't do it as good as you could have done it. Do better. But we're not going to sit here and cancel her, and we're not going to take away the accolades and the stripes that she's made. She's done.
You can't say you've made accolades and you can't write. No, sorry. Like I understand Black excellence. I get it. I get push yourself forward.
I'm not gonna take away from another Black woman trying.
I know. See, and that's where we're at.
So is it because she's a Black woman?
Exactly. That's what it is.
Was a Black man trying.
I would say the same thing.
I'm gonna give you your stripes. If
So
you're a Black person,
I would say the same thing.
It's where you are.
I'm gonna say the same thing.
I'm giving you your stripes, and I'm gonna say, now you better do better. Now you
next time.
Let me say this.
Canceling is too harsh. Canceling is too much. Canceling is appropriate for a pedophile. Canceling is appropriate for a bigot. Canceling is appropriate for a homophobe. Canceling is appropriate for someone who what they do basically is an offense, an affront to who I am. That's what cancel is for. So if she raped somebody, cancel her ass.
I mean, in the same respect.
Cancel her.
So let's look at what whatever said. Whatever said, I'm not a part of the whole cancel culture, but as an author, how do you blame your team for plagiarism? But you wrote the book. How do you not know what's going in a book that you wrote?
This is my thing. This is your book.
Because when you have a whole team behind you, because I've actually been in kind of like industry kind of situations. When you have a whole team behind you and there's like a fire, like you're on fire right now. Simone is everywhere. We want to kind of like get as much we can. We want to get a clothing line out. We want to get a shoe line out. We want to get hair care products. We want to get all of these things behind you because you're on fire.
Because of what? Because of what? Because of what? Because of what? Because they are greedy and they want that immediate money because they're not authentic in who they are. Influencer. We
don't even hear what y'all saying.
We had Madonna who came out with a whole sex book. There were no words in the whole fucking sex book. All it was a whole bunch of like pictures of herself in like androgynous positions and or like.
But that's a form of reading. That's a form of art. Okay, but that's art. Like you can, it just like any book is art. Writing a story is a form of art. If you can't do it yourself, it don't matter.
She wasn't the production.
And she's not the one being on trial for plagiarism. Get her out of here, Bobby.
Put it in the book, and now it's her book. Get the fuck out of here.
So I'm sorry. You want to blame Madonna's issues on the fact that this girl put out a self-care book and had absolutely nothing to do with the writing, and then I'm gonna take. Sorry.
Yes, she
goodbye.
Let's wrap this topic up. Martell, how you want to wrap this topic up?
So ultimately, the real issue is cancel culture in itself. Just as easily, again, I don't have the authority to cancel this woman. I can choose to still enjoy her art, enjoy her comedy, enjoy whatever. But the way society is set up now, it's everyone's that same cheap mindset. So it's, someone here canceled her, so we're all going to cancel her. When in fact, that shouldn't be the case. But in that same sense, it's that same, someone followed her, so she must be funny, so we're all going to follow her. So it's a lot of things aren't based on merit anymore, both positively and negatively. So again, she definitely made some errors. I don't think it's necessarily cancel worthy. I do find great fault in the fact that this is a self book or some type of like self-motivated, self-made type thing, and it wasn't in fact made. I think that's an issue which could obviously be worked on. I do also find an issue in her apology. It felt very like, I take full responsibility, but someone else did this, so it wasn't my fault. It felt real backtracky. I'm not in the saying that we should cancel her per se, but there definitely are issues.
Okay.
Can I get a closing statement, please?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want a closing statement, damn it.
Is it a sentence or paragraph?
No, it's a closing statement. All I have to say is I'm coming perspective.
I'm not allowing you to speak because Martel closed it. Martel closed it. Martel closed it.
That is not right.
I love y'all. I love y'all. We're gonna move on to the next topic: Black trans women versus Black women. So,
no,
there is a lot. This particular topic is a bit heavy, or it can be a bit heavy. We do have a Black woman on the panel, which is a great thing. But there was a lot happening on social media with Lovely T versus T.S. Madison. And apparently there was the Cliff Note version is that Lovely T had made reference to T.S. Madison not having the ability to comment on something, which was regarding trans women or whatever the case may be. And so they were going back and forth. And what I saw was two Black women going back and forth on social media. And I felt like it shouldn't be that way. But on top of that, last time we were on Culture Club, Corday had made a comment, or quite a few comments, about Black trans women. And yeah, I'm going to let Corday speak on his comments. But the topic is Black trans women versus Black women is happening. And how do we resolve that? Because I feel I sit in the belief that all Black lives matter and that all Black people should be one. But that's not happening, and I don't think it's going to happen in my lifetime. But Black trans women versus Black women happen today. So Corday, speak on it, brother.
What comment did I make?
Oh my god!
Because I don't know what you mean.
Oh my god!
We did Culture Club like a month ago.
It was a while ago. But
and I make comments all the time.
Olivia was hot. She was hot-headed about it. So Olivia, what happened?
Oh God!
And by the way, Olivia, I'm getting these shots of you eating during this topic to post them on my page.
That's fine. Let me tell you, I love Corday, and he was really coming for it. He was basically making blanket statements, like he had trouble with Black trans women because more often than not, they are scammers doing illegal activity.
I never said anything like it. Please roll some footage. I never said that. I never said that.
Because people like,
please run a tape. Because I never said that. That's
what did she do for her to get beat up?
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. When the girl, let's run it back.
Corday, so remember when we were discussing?
I remember exactly what I was talking about.
Okay.
When we were talking about the young guy, or what's his name? Or what's her name? What is her name? I'm not gonna play this game. Y'all,
I know you're lying.
What is her name? No, but in all seriousness, when we were talking about the situation that happened,
right?
I don't know how we got into the conversation or what happened, but the only thing that I said was, we hold these people. I'm not talking. No, but I'm not even talking. You know what? Fuck it, because I'm not even talking about trans in general. I'm just talking about all Black lives. So we start to really dig into like, this was racist, or this was homophobic, or this was transphobic. And what I was saying was, because before we got on that topic, I had just watched a live video that she did being interviewed.
Right.
And so y'all were saying, she got jumped by all of those guys, and she got jumped because she was trans, and it was because they were transphobic. And I'm like, she just did an interview, and she didn't say that she felt like she got jumped because she was a trans. She didn't get jumped because she was trans. She got jumped because she did a hit and run, went back to the scene, and was still popping off at the mouth. That's why she got jumped. And in my days of being alive and in the gay community and being in clubs and watching these things happen, it wouldn't have happened any different to any other gay boy or any other straight guy. Like, it wouldn't have happened any different. You do a hit and run on somebody's car and all of these dudes are together, and you go back to the scene and you talking shit and you're being aggressive, of course they're going to jump on you. Does it make it right? I can't say that it made it right, because no, it doesn't make it right. Violence is always going to be wrong. It's never the answer. It's never the thing to do.
Not
But
always. Keep riding, y'all.
Okay. But you did a hit and run, went back to, she literally said verbatim, she did a hit, she left the scene, she came back to the scene to purchase whatever she was purchasing from the store. I don't want to speculate, and I don't want to say what she was going there to purchase. Y'all can go back and watch it for yourself. It was on Facebook. She was doing the interview with some other trans lady, and she said that she did a hit and run. She went back to the scene. In the footage, you could clearly see she was being combative. She was hitting in the back, and she came back out, raised her hands, was being super combative, and then got like, come on, let's be serious here. We can't say every single thing is, oh, this is because she was trans. No. And furthermore, my biggest point with this whole thing was, if we're going to address a trans lives matter, we have to be comfortable enough to address black on black crime. Because
oh my God,
I understand I feel the oh my God too. But if we're going to address that, we have to address the same thing. Because at the end of the day, I'm a very old man. And I've been out to gay clubs since I was younger than I was able to be in them. And the violence that I've seen trans women on one gay guy has been way more harsh to watch than I've seen in any video that I've seen posted, including the George Floyd video. Be upset if you want to, say what you want to, but I've seen way more treacherous videos than.
Okay.
That was Jesus.
More treacherous. I've seen what I mean. See, and honestly, that is really the biggest issue for me, because we will acknowledge in a minute the shit that goes on over on this side. But amongst our own culture, when I see somebody run out the blue and kick a girl or a black woman or a trans person in the face, and then every black trans person comes in and jumps that person, and they get kicked in the face, they're banging their head against a metal pole, and then y'all want to be like, oh my God, his knee is in his neck, and then not want to compare the two, or not want to have that conversation. I'm not here for it, and I'm never going to be here for it. Okay,
hold on one second, Corday. Corday, I love you.
Okay.
I love your ability to speak your mind, but we have to understand that there is a clear, definitive difference between what happened with George Floyd, okay, versus what will happen with two brothers or two sisters on the street that are of the same race.
I'm not saying there's not a difference. I never said that. But what I'm saying is, if we're going to draw the same.
Hold on one second. When you run the two into the same, when you bring George Floyd into your argument regarding black on black crime, then that's when it's kind of like you're running in murky waters, because it's like, do you understand the difference between the two, or do you not understand the difference between the two? Because that's very serious right there, what you're saying. Okay, and I want to just make it known from my mouth to y'all's ears, the clear, definitive difference between black on black crime and what happened to George Floyd is that we as a people pay the police to serve and protect. It is their job to make sure that our lives are protected, okay? And so when you have the job to serve and protect a civilian, no matter what their race is, you don't have the prerogative to take it upon yourself to decide if they live or die. That is the clear difference between two brothers or two sisters or whatever have you beating each other up over some dumb shit. Okay.
That is what you feel is your difference. I never once said that anything promotes or it makes it right that he did what he did. The only thing I said was I, with my eyes, have seen things that I found more harsh or more gruesome than seeing this policeman put a knee in George Floyd's neck. Although his led to death, although it was extremely wrong, although they are supposed to protect us, I've seen more violent, more gruesome, more bloody, more savage things happen within our community. I wasn't negating anything that he did. So if you want to make it a situation that's about, oh, well, he died or it was the police or it's police brutality, I'm making a situation where I'm just saying I've seen worse done in our community. I have. Sorry that y'all haven't, and I'm sorry that y'all don't think that it's worse repeatedly beating somebody or banging their head against the concrete or against a fucking metal pole. But in my opinion, I've seen worse.
No, you're confused.
In my opinion.
And I'm sorry.
These are my eyes. That's how I feel.
What we not gonna do is create and broadcast a message that says that police brutality and or white supremacy doesn't exist because
I never said that. If that's what you got out of what I said, then you probably you weren't listening because I never said that. I never said that.
Okay,
that's not the narrative that is going to be put.
Hold on, Corday.
But that's not the narrative that I'm allowed to be put on me because I never said that. I never said it was wrong. I never said it was right. I never said any of those things. All I'm saying is I saw something more gruesome. I've seen more gruesome things happen in our community than what happened to that girl in that gas station.
You had
period.
a whole 3 minutes of talk and I ain't say nothing. But what we not gonna do, like we could talk about black women versus trans women, but we're never gonna do in the space that Olivia is in, is that we're never gonna conflate an issue and we're never gonna bring in any type of situation where we're gonna talk about George Floyd and then say that LGBT, someone getting beat up, not murdered, someone getting beat up and in a gruesome situation when it's black on black is similar in any way to police.
That is your opinion.
Never gonna say
that is your opinion. To me, I don't see a policeman any higher than the person I'm hanging out with. Period.
Man, you pay the policeman.
That are two different conversations.
Okay, that has absolutely nothing to do with humanity. What I'm saying is what I've seen with my eyes. I'm not talking about whose position and what they do for a living and what their responsibility is. I'm talking about on a humane level. What I've seen has been more shocking and more dramatic in my community than I saw on the TV.
So let's pose a question. So let's pose a question.
Over talking me because I didn't get an opportunity to say what I wanted to say without you cutting in. I let you talk. So
I don't mind you talking, but you can't push a narrative on me that I did not say.
Narrative on you.
You did. You just said what we won't do is make it seem like X, Y, and Z didn't happen. I didn't say that.
But what I'm saying is what I'm not going to be sitting in witness for is a conversation in which we're conflating an issue, in which we are bringing in two different topics that have nothing to do with in the same conversation. I'm not saying that there aren't a lot of situations that happen in the LGBT community that are egregious, but you're not going to bring in, or let me rephrase, I'm not going to sit and allow a conversation to be broadcast that we're now going to bring in something that has nothing to do with LGBT beatings and police brutality. We're talking about two different conversations. And so that's like talking about why I like pizza and then bringing in ice cream. They don't.
But that's your thought process. We've already established. We've established the first panel that my thought process is a lot of these things, just like a lot of people believe in learned racism and all of those different things. The way that we present ourselves to the people and to the general public is how people get treated.
So indoctrinated into this system that you don't even realize how much you're brainwashed into this thought process.
I'm not brainwashed into anything. I'm not brainwashed to anything. I'm just telling you what I saw. Period.
So let me ask you a question. Do you feel that getting brutally beat up is worse than death?
I don't believe any of those things are necessary or that they should happen or any of those things. The only thing I was discussing is the shock factor that we put out there as if that is not what we already do, or it wouldn't have been done to anybody else. Because my exact words was the same thing that happened to that trans woman would have happened to anybody if they did a hit and run. And then I followed up and said that I have seen things, beatings and violence or whatever within our own communities worse than I've seen in the present media. That's all I'm saying. Do I think it's worse? Do I think anything? That is irrelevant because that's not what I said.
But you were saying that you feel that you've seen worse, and when you said that you saw worse, it was still what I believe and what I heard, because we were talking. You have made reference to George Floyd. It was in reference to you seeing worse black on black crime situations happening than comparing that to a knee on the neck, which led to the man dying. So that's why I'm asking you, do you feel that getting beat up, because you also made reference to somebody's head getting bashed into a pole or something like that, do you think that that's worse than actual death? Because
I'm not gonna compare the end result of the two. What I'm talking about is in the moment, actually having the anger and the desire to sit and bash someone's head against something, I feel is more gruesome and more shocking, and it has a more emotional effect on me versus watching a video of 8 minutes of someone kneeing someone in the neck. Does it compare? Can you compare the two? Is the outcome any better? No. But what I'm saying is what I see, the actual action and the actual activity has been worse, in my opinion.
So, well, I guess my question is to say that you can't compare the two, then why would you bring them up in the same situation?
No, I said I'm not comparing the end result. I'm talking about in the moment, the shock value of what I see. If you're doing an action repetitively and you know what you're doing, you're seeing blood, blah, blah, blah. You're seeing those things. For me as a viewer, that looks worse for me as a human, being an actual human, and just seeing it, blood, whatever the case is, beating someone is a little bit more traumatic and shocking than seeing someone kneeling on someone's neck. I'm not talking about the end. If you want to make it the end result, I'm not going to discuss it. I'm not talking about the end result. I'm talking about the activity and the action, how people handle situations, period. They're both horrible. One led to death. One was a whole different situation that we've already condemned and we've already discussed is wrong. I'm not pulling anything out of that or taking anything away from that. But what I'm saying is our actions and the violence that I've seen in the community have been a little bit more traumatic and horrendous.
So let's go back to the topic at hand. Okay. Let's not coordinate. Do me a favor. Let's not reference any acts that have brought on death of anyone. Okay. So let's leave George Floyd. Let's leave Breonna Taylor. Let's leave these kind of victims out of what we're talking about. Right. Let's go back to the topic. The topic was Black trans women versus Black women. And the reason why I wanted to bring this topic up was because of the comments that you have made reference to about the woman, and she did the video and she had proclaimed as to why she had got beat up or whatever the case may be. A lot of the videos that I've seen recently state that Black women are the most underappreciated human beings on the face of the earth. I guess my question to you, the panelists, would be, do you think Black women are, or do you think Black trans women are? And if so, why?
Wait. What's the question? Black women or Black trans women? What?
Who are the most underappreciated or disrespected out of the two? Because there's a lot that happens to both, and that is my question. Okay, can we even answer that?
Are Black trans women not Black women?
Depending on who you speak to, because I know quite a few Black women that will argue the point that they are Black women and that Black trans women are men that were turned into women. So, depending on who you speak to, that may be the argument. So, but I'm speaking to you guys, so let me know how you feel.
I would like to chime in because
Okay.
I'm sitting on both sides of the fence, and let me explain why.
Okay.
Are certain Black trans women who I still will consider women who live the experience that I experience. There are also some Black identified, I'm saying that appropriately, trans women who scale the line, and when it's appropriate and enough for them to use their masculinity, they will. And then when they won't, yes. And I never thought I would see that when it's appropriate for them to use their ability to, their privilege, if you will, in being born male, when they skeeter both sides. It's almost like being somewhat mixed race, and I know that's a bad analogy, but that's the best thing that I can think of in this very moment. It's like when it's appropriate for me to pass, I will pass. But for the most part, I won't. And so those are the particular, very small subgroup of trans women that I'm talking about that I would say, no, you don't have it worse than we do, because you like to kind of go in and out and decide, today I don't want to be a Black woman. And today I want to sit in my masculinity. And I want to sit in my privilege of being a man. Then the trans women who every single day, 24/7, I live, breathe, speak, eat, I am a woman. Yes, those women do. They do have it more difficult. They have more of a difficult experience than me as a Black woman who was born. So I'm a cis Black woman. Yes, I will say that.
Okay. Martell, do you have any opinion to this?
Honestly, I don't, because that it's not a walk that I've ever experienced, that I ever will experience. Neither being a Black trans woman nor a Black woman. I can never speak to someone's struggle or who has it harder in that sense. Because again, I do believe as a whole, Black women are the most almost looked down upon. They're belittled in the most. But I see Black women with such reverence. But then I also know Black trans women do have that struggle of just even living a day-to-day life, just trying just to live in their truth as a Black woman. And I know that itself can be a struggle. But I personally can't say in that sense who has, because that literally is, it would strictly just be an opinion that's there is, to me, there would be no fact base in that sense, because I can't, it's not an experience I could ever even fathom, if that makes sense.
Okay, so I just want to ask this question to Corday, a separate question, an individual question. Do you have a problem with Black trans women?
No.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. We're going to move on to the next topic. The next topic is COVID-19 is hitting the states hard. We have states like Florida.
Georgia.
Florida is closing down again. We have states like Florida, Texas, and
All states that opened early except for Georgia.
right, yeah. So my thing is, has anything changed for you guys regarding going out or regarding being in mass groups?
Yes. I know me. I'm not doing nothing. When I tell you, I kid you not, one of my friends is upstairs right now, and she was asking me, like, hey, we want to go to the compound tomorrow. I want to go to the club so bad. But I also know those type of environments are cesspools. Like, I cannot fathom right now the desire for everyone. I get, we all want to go outside. We want to live our lives. We want to do all these things. But in reality, this isn't dying down. This isn't declining. Especially not at any type of rapid rate. Most places are going up now. Like we're not experiencing a second wave. We're still experiencing the first wave. We haven't got to a second wave yet. So the desire for people to go out and do things, like I've been out to like restaurants here and there, and it's legit. Like if we can't sit outside, I'm not going. Like I can't be around people. Like when I'm in the grocery store still, I'm power walking past people. Don't breathe too close to me. Don't walk too close. Like this is very serious. Like. I went somewhere. I went to one of my friend's birthday party, and even afterwards, like as I was home, I was like, that didn't feel smart. And I'm not ready.
Okay. Olivia, are you hitting the clubs? Are you doing the regular living thing?
I'm absolutely not hitting the clubs. And I am agreeing with Martell as far as, living smart, not putting myself in an environment where I'm going to go sit there and like hit up a club. However, I am living smart, and I'm also doing something called living. And the reason why I'm in this space is because at best, we are looking at, now they're telling us 24 months for a vaccine. Also, the people who are spearheading our vaccine were just 2 years ago talking about population control. So I don't know if I really kind of trust them too much, because who's to say that the vaccine won't be a part of population control? So and I don't know that I'm feeling this whole, all of these cases. I feel like all of these cases existed, no shade. They existed, we just weren't testing as much. So we had these kind of numbers regardless, we just weren't testing as much as we were. I'm taking the approach of, you know what, good, bad, or indifferent, let me get myself on a very big health kick. So I've been working out intensively, aggressively. I've been taking in a lot of homeopathic things. So I've been taking my sea moss every day. I've been taking my multivitamins. Like I'm eating a lot of my all of my nutrition is going to help my immune system, so that I don't need to take a vaccine, that I am building up my white blood cell count and not staying inside of the house, getting my vitamin D, working out, keeping myself active, not stressing myself out, getting an appropriate amount of sleep, these kind of things, not eating a whole bunch of junk food, all of those things that will weaken your immune system. I'm making sure that I'm not doing those things. Am I keeping 6 feet apart from everybody that I see? Absolutely not. That's impossible. I can't. When you go to the grocery store, people are sitting there and they're touching their face, and then they're touching the items on the shelves. Am I leaving my items outside of my door and then sanitizing them? No, I'm not. And so if you're not doing that, you're also in a certain level of increase of COVID. Like there's too much risk out there, that the best way that you can help yourself is to keep yourself healthy. The best way to keep yourself healthy is to work out, get vitamin D, don't stress out too much, get as much sleep as you need to, don't drink too much alcohol because your liver needs to be working and all of your, organs need to be working. Don't sit there and smoke weed all day. And if you're gonna smoke weed, don't use blunts. Get enough nutrients in your bodies, like a lot of green vegetables and things that will help your immune system and your white blood cell count. But I'm not gonna sit here and just like hide myself in my house forever. It's not realistic. It's not realistic in the way that we interact with each other in 2020.
Okay, Sir Corday, have you gone back to, I guess, what we would call normal, or are you still like quarantining?
I'm an introvert, so I've always kind of been like very distant from people anyway. So I don't have like a group of people that I'm with or been around a group of people. So my life isn't like crazy different. I went on vacation, a week ago. I went to Clearwater, Florida. I was able to keep a safe distance from people. Really no issues. So my life is I'm enjoying quarantine. I just wish other people would, respect distance and do those things.
Okay. All right, next topic. What happened to Normani? And are we here for Chloe and Halle?
We are here.
We are.
I love Chloe and Halle. They are two beautiful sisters that I've watched before they were even signed to be on
YouTube.
They were killing it on YouTube, doing covers and all of that. I always liked their swag, and even with Fifth Harmony, I always felt that Normani was just that it girl in the group of Fifth Harmony. Normani, a lot of the girls in Fifth Harmony broke away and they tried to do their solo careers. The only one that we really hear anything about is Camila Cabello, unfortunately, because all the sisters are so talented. Normani came out with Motivation. She came out with Waves. And then she like did the Rihanna thing on the fashion show. And then she like disappeared. She had the song with Megan Thee Stallion, Diamonds, for the soundtrack of the DC movie. But she disappeared and we didn't hear anything from her. No word of an album or anything like that. And then now we have Chloe and Halle that appear to be like hitting the ground running. They dropped their Ungodly Hour album, which is a great first album. Great. It's their second album?
Yes.
Second album on a studio label?
Second album.
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay,
sir.
Well, shit. And I listened to the album and I like the album. So again, my question is, what happened to Normani? What do we think happened to Normani?
Regular black girl syndrome.
Well, go ahead, girl. What's regular black girl syndrome?
Not stand outable.
What does that mean?
She don't got the it factor, child.
She does not stand out. She's not stand outable.
She's not that. She's not that.
But she is not stand outable in the way that we have Click America. I love Normani, and I'm not saying it as a read. I'm saying it as she is ridiculously talented, but she's ridiculously talented like a Dawn Richard.
No.
Oh
I'm gonna say this funny story.
Dawn Richard is dope. She is
but dope. Normani is not that dope though. She's not that artistic.
Normani is dope. She's not as artistic as Dawn Richard, okay. But Normani is dope. She has everything. Unfortunately, she does not stand out.
Oh my gosh.
And she doesn't. Normani does not. Normani does not
stand out, and that didn't either.
Normani just doesn't have, to me.
I said it, Martell.
Normani doesn't.
This is the first time I've ever disagreed with you.
For me, Normani just does not have an it factor. Funny story. The year that I auditioned for X Factor and didn't make it, fuck you, Simon. Normani auditioned at the same venue in the rest of Fifth Harmony. He put them together at that situation. And in that situation, like you could see her and you could, in live at that point, you knew like she was not meant to be a solo act. It's just not, she's just taking up space in a sense. The little play on, like, let's make her a little Beyonce, was cute for a little second, but everything was so rehearsed, everything was so planned, and unfortunately, music is in a time and place where if you're not authentic in what you do and you're Black, people are going to call you on it, and people are going to see you on it, and they're not going to like it, and they're not going to support you. I don't think she's disappeared by any means, but I think that she'll make her come back when she can claim, oh, I'm more older and mature. But the songs that she was coming out with, the movements, the whole artistic value of what she did, to me, it's just so, it was very, very year 2002. And it just doesn't work. It don't work. It doesn't work in the industry right now. The industry shines, and I'm happy right now where the industry kind of is because it is highlighting a lot of people like your Jesse Reyes, Daniel Caesar, those kind of people who actually have a musical input to the industry. And Normani has absolutely no musical input. Dawn Richard does, but she's just kind of whack. But she does. I love Dawn Richard, though. It's kind of weird because in a strange way, I love her, but at the same time, she's just kind of like, it's one of those things where you like try too hard, like Keke Palmer, where you like just trying so hard that it just doesn't come across.
I like Keke.
I like
Keke
Keke
has come
too.
out with a few good tunes. But
no, and mind you, I'm not saying any of these people are bad because Dawn
microwave.
Richard is my favorite.
Keke is microwave. I agree. If you're saying that Normani is microwave, like there's too much of it in whatchamacallit behind her.
Yeah, they're trying too hard to push her. It's not enough naturalism.
It doesn't look good.
I mean, come on. Like, we got to be honest here. Motivation. Didn't Kelly release that already? Half naked, and she out off-brand cheerleading with Air Force Ones. Get her out of here. I'm glad she's gone. Bye, Normani. Drinks to you and come back when you mature up a little bit, baby.
I'm literally so confused because I've never so strongly disagreed with Olivia. I've never seen Olivia and Corday be so in sync with each other. Like I'm literally astounded because I completely disagree. Like I think realistic. I initially always thought maybe Normani just stood out in Fifth Harmony because she was the Black girl. She's obviously going to outdance all the girls. And I feel like even
that was a very racist thing.
Strongest singer, but I also know they also limited her in the group vocally. I think as no.
Normani vocally is no. Absolutely not. That is complete. That is
word out.
So yeah, I think ultimately she's been limited initially. I think as a solo artist, I think she has. When you think about other artists that are out right now, there aren't a lot of girls who are doing what Normani is doing in a sense. Like Normani can dance, she can give a good performance, she can give. I mean, and I do. I think she's an okay vocalist. She's not a powerhouse, but I think she gives enough where, again, if some of these girls can make it, Normani should be. I think a lot of the issue with Normani is how her music is being put out. Why she had Motivation come out a year ago, and that was the last song she had come out. Why she had Waves come out almost 2 years ago. It took her 4 months to put out a video. Like, I think she's being promoted and it's one of those things where I feel like
no, absolutely not. That to me is an insult to the industry because that bitch got more promotion than any other Black artist, very established Black artists in their day. Nobody with ultra record deals got as much promotion as that VMA girl got. And then she gave trash performances with trash ass vocals.
That's true.
Trying to do something else another bitch did years ago when she was not in her prime. Well, she was in her prime. B was in her prime. Let's be serious. Let's be clear. But she was not at her best. Normani is a C scale
Oh my God.
C-scale artist.
So I'm not going to use a artist, but what I am going to say, her songs and her vocals, she can dance her ass off.
Who can't? So could Sierra.
Are atrocious.
Exactly. Like you're not talking to, but then again, it's what it is. Like
songs and her vocals are horrible, but she can dance really, really well.
And right now, the industry is praising white, blue-eyed soul artists and Black girls like her who can actually deliver a lyric over a guitar, unfortunately. So her time will come again. No, it's okay, Martell. It'll come again. Maybe after quarantine, but it'll come again. And we can have this conversation again. But that girl, I heard her live in Charleston, South Carolina at X Factor. She can't give a vocal, baby, at all.
But that was also 8 years ago or longer.
That's fine, but she's a female vocalist. Her vocals get worse later.
I respect everybody's opinion. I think everybody's opinion is valid for them. I'm
not against you, Marcel.
But Normani is that bitch, okay? And I love to see people like Devin mentioned, Ryan Destiny, Normani, Tiana Taylor, all of these dark skin.
Now Tiana Taylor need to find an identity, but I like her.
All of these dark. Let me finish. All of these dark skinned brown women that aren't finding whatever they need to find to be super successful. But I can't even say it's because of their skin, because Tinashe is having problems too.
Tinashe is like an old Maya. What the fuck? We're not really.
And we can talk about Sierra. All of these women are having problems. All of these women that are dancing and singing and aren't Beyonce.
That's not true. That's just simply not true. There's a lot of artistry out there that I think people get so wrapped up, and correct me if I'm wrong. Actually, don't correct me, please. But I could be wrong, but a lot of people get mixed up with like what they see in front of them, the popularity, the billboards or whatever. But what y'all really don't get from experience, like these artists make a ton of money performing. You got Alina Perez, you got Rye, you got Jessie Reyes, you got all these artists who actually are artists. And we having a conversation about a man-made artist like Normani. Child, when I seen it on topic list.
All right, moving on to the next topic. BET Music Awards. Were we here for the virtual experience, or would we rather a live experience?
I was here for the virtual experience so I could check out.
I've loved all the virtual experiences, like from the BET Awards to like a little off topic, but like the reunions for like Atlanta Housewives and stuff. I've loved all these virtual experiences. I think people, with the exception of that Brandy Baby Mama performance, we won't get into it. But I think everybody's been like,
we're not gonna do her on this Culture Club.
I love Brandy.
Oh my God.
I love Brandy, but that performance was trash. But I love everybody's creativity. It almost feels like, honestly, and I hope this is what it is, music videos coming back. I really hope that's what it is.
I feel like the BET Music Awards I would prefer the live experience. I prefer the live experience over the manufactured experience. I do like all of the music videos. The music videos were hype, but I like live experiences. The only thing that I got from the BET Music Awards was Megan Thee Stallion doing the performance, and I thought that was really dope for her and a good moment for her. But other than that, Amanda Seals. She was cool. I like her hosting. That's definitely her lane, because she's pro-black in all caps. So she wasn't gonna flub on that, even though it was pre-recorded. But I just wasn't entertained. I was like, oh, this is just another production. Click. I want to see live performances. Martell, you
I love live performances.
So I think I do agree. I do prefer a live show better. I think what was good about this is because I know the BET Awards, they can be real up and down sometimes. They have highs, but they have a lot of lows. So what I did enjoy about this was that I didn't have to watch the whole show. I could literally just look up the performances I wanted to see and enjoy. So things like this, and I agree with Corday on this point of this could be the trend of where music videos do make a really great resurgence. I love Chloe and Halle. They are everything. They've been performing the world on their tennis court. Their tennis court in so much play right now. Chloe and Halle are doing it with their tennis court. Continue.
I'm with Martell. I think
Chloe
and Halle are fucking amazing. I think that
phenomenal.
An amazing thing that happened to the music industry. I hate that I've seen recent comments saying that,
Chloe should go solo.
That is so disrespectful. I feel like that is just like, because actually Halle has, in my opinion, the more interesting voice, and she adds a little bit of a spin to it. And if you listen to the first album, Halle got a lot of more of the lead vocals than Chloe did, which made it a little bit more interesting. And she's more interesting in my opinion. But then again, I like Michelle Williams. But I think that Chloe is okay. So then again,
this is our moment, Corday.
But then again, I just think that Chloe and Halle, because Wesley, when you said that I like the live performances better, it just kind of made me think like, honestly, if you think about it, live performances are never really live performances unless you get particular artists, because they're usually pre-recorded performances with a run through. But Halle and Chloe, like, I've never seen a performance, whether it's live or pre-recorded, where I'm like, is this bitch lip syncing or no? Because their harmonies are so fucking intricate where it's like, if they really lip sync this, it don't even make me know, never mind if they lip sync this, because the fact that they came up with this for this performance and then remembered it by lip, they're amazing. Chloe and Halle all the way.
I love Chloe and Halle, but the reason why I love them is because of Grownish.
I love Grownish too.
Album, but I love them more in Grownish.
All right. Next topic. Nicki needs help to reach #1.
I gotta pee.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
I gotta pee.
The people hate Nicki Minaj so bad.
I do. No, first of all, I was a Barbie for like forever. And the difference between me and all of the fucking rest of the Barbs is that I grew up and I was hoping that Nicki would grow with me, because Nicki is only 2 years younger than I am. So I expected us to grow together, but she's still doing troll shit. And it's like, she's like 37, 38. I'm gonna need you to do better, baby. Like, she's whack to me. The fact that Nicki Minaj said she was going to give a portion, 20% of her proceeds to those who are, not wrongfully incarcerated. This bitch couldn't even say the Black Lives Matter movement. I got a problem. That is like, she's teetering the cancel button for me, because I've put a lot of my money, my personal money, into her fucking pocket. And I feel like, and I understand that she only makes 20 cents off of the dollar that I spent. For every dollar that I spent, I understand, because of her record deal. But the fact of the matter is that she still needs to pay to my 20 cents. So what I'm going to say about Nicki Minaj is, how dare you stand? It's bad enough that your brother, you got to hold on to your brother, that's your family. How dare you stand with a convicted and known criminal who's also a pedophile and be like, it's okay.
You talking about her brother or her husband?
I'm talking about fucking Tekashi 6ix9ine. Fuck that.
Oh.
Fuck her brother and her husband. I understand. Hey, we understand. That's your brother, that's your man. There was a lot that went on. I still have problems with her man, because at the end of the day, when I look at TMZ court documents, it didn't say that yes, it did say that they were both young, they were both minors. But the
She was
problem that I had
15.
is fucking hold this bitch up with a sharp object, and he raped her. Get out of here. Stop. I don't do pedophiles.
Okay, so Martell, do you think Nicki needs help to reach number one?
Musically, the songs that she's had that went number one, she was just the featured artist. So I guess there's that portion where No Shade, she really just like they're not even her songs.
That's
And
not true.
I actually do.
Don't do that. That's not
Well, no,
true.
'cause I do. I love Nicki's music to this day.
She was a feature. It wasn't her
Be it
song. She was a
every
Well,
time
but at
she's
the same
a featured
time,
artist.
like being a feature, you still do your work.
Let myself finish.
But ultimately, what it comes down to is that I also feel like too there she's had some really great songs that should have been number one. Like I try not to get on her train of like she's blackballed in places and stuff, but I also do believe that there are things like above our heads that definitely affect her in a negative way because there's no way, no shade, like there's no way that Nicki Minaj being who Nicki Minaj is, having the songs that she's had, that she's not had number ones already, that she's not had Grammys already, she's not had awards that she should have been awarded. But then she has to get with these specific people. Like she's no shade. Like the only reason I've ever listened to Tekashi 6ix9ine is because he's had a song with Nicki.
Period. Me too.
So, but then like the fact that she has to have a song with him to go number one. Like I like Doja Cat's music. Like I think I don't.
Who's that?
Hit. So how it got to number one, I think that's astounding. But that's the song that got her first number one. Awesome. But I still just don't personally understand why it had to take this long, why she had to be with these people when she's had her first three albums were top tier. Queen, I still think was a very good album. I don't think it matched the first three, but either way, like
her first two, pause. Her first two.
The Pink Print? You like the Pink Print?
Queen wasn't, what she's saying is Queen wasn't all that. That's what she's saying.
That's what I said. It didn't match the first albums, but it was
Pink Friday, Pink Print, and
she had Roman Reloaded.
So what I'm gonna say is I'm going to base it on talent because this whole Billboard to number one and all those things to me is irrelevant. As far as talent goes, Nicki Minaj definitely deserves her number one. She deserves her Grammys or whatever else because compared to the raptress that are out there right now, no, I don't know if raptress is a word, but it probably is. We can make it a word. She's a lyricist, and she is an intellect with her lyricism.
You're
Excuse me?
No, go ahead.
So for me, am I a fan of Nicki? I don't really do rap music like that, but when I do, go back and listen, because me and my boo had a discussion about this on the way to Clearwater. I listened to a Nicki compared to a Cardi, compared to a Megan, and all of some others we listen to. Nicki Minaj is a rap artist, and I feel like based off artistry, she deserves a lot more than what's been given to her based off of social culture. As far as anything else, it is what it is. If you collab with an artist, you rap, you write on a feature, whatever the case is, and to get the feature as hell as well, you deserve it. And you deserve the accolades. So
I want to jump in. Pink Friday, Roman Reloaded, excellent. The re-up, trash. The Pink Print promotion, which is the Chirac, trash. The Pink Print, okay. And everything in Queen, garbage. It was pure the fuck garbage. I was annoyed that I spent my whole money to buy it. And that's on that. And I don't care what any fucking Barbie could tell me because I bought all the albums.
Olivia.
All right. Next
I'm
time.
gonna be pro Olivia because she actually bought and listened to the albums. I'm just basing it off of what I heard.
Beam me up, Scotty. I was a beam me up, Scotty. I was the re-up type of Nicki Minaj. I was old school Nicki Minaj. So beam me up, Scotty. All of that was for me. And this child right here,
Elijah McClain, to see if a federal civil rights investigation is warranted. As you might remember, police confronted the 23-year-old black man as he was walking home from a convenience store in Aurora, Colorado last August. Officers detained McClain, who was not armed and was not accused of committing any crime. After a struggle ensued, McClain was put into a chokehold and given a sedative. McClain would suffer a major heart attack and die 3 days later. For more on this, let's bring in Dylan Thomas. He is a reporter with our CBS station in Denver, KCNC. Hi, Dylan. Thank you for being with us. So what exactly is the Department of Justice looking into, and how will they determine whether a federal civil rights investigation is needed here?
You know, they started to get involved right about the time where this started to become more of a national case. This has been going on for the better part of 10 months now, but it wasn't until the deaths of George Floyd and others that this really started to get the attention. So right now, when it comes down to the civil rights case, they actually have to go out and prove that his civil rights were violated in terms of Elijah had a right to be out walking to his home from that store where he bought some tea. So right now they are out there trying to see whether or not his civil rights were violated because he has a right to freely walk and not be killed by police for simply walking home. We should note he had not committed a crime at the time when the 911 call was made reporting that he was acting odd. So right now investigators are looking into whether or not there was an issue around when the police responded and took the action that they did, if his civil rights were violated, because technically Elijah had not committed a crime when they had made contact with him. So right now they're looking into whether or not the officer showed intent to violate his civil rights.
And so then how does a federal civil rights investigation differ from other investigations? If the outcome shows that his civil rights were violated, how does that, escalate the situation? Does it then immediately warrant charges against the officers? What would the outcome be?
Right now it all comes down to proving different levels of proof within the case as well. You figure the officers went already through an internal investigation months ago when this originally happened. This was back in 2019 at the end of August. So the police department already went through their investigation over whether or not their officers followed the protocol in this issue, and they determined that the officers did indeed follow protocol when it came down to their contact and the handling of the Elijah McClain case. Then you move on to the city investigation, going on to the state investigation, where the state can then investigate whether or not any state policing laws were violated, and that process is still going on. And then, as we just talked about, the introduction of the civil rights violations possibly being investigated now. So there's 3 different tiers that the officers' investigations are now going through when it comes down to their conduct with the Elijah McClain case. And right now, the federal court actually has a larger burden to be able to prove that the civil rights were actually intentionally violated when it comes down to the Elijah McClain case. So
I don't like necessarily talking about these topics, so we can make it quick, but I do want to say that I feel like in my lifetime, I don't think this is ever going to change. It's unfortunate, though, that George Floyd's murder is what's prompting all of these incidents to really surface and be put on the forefront so that they can be reopened, reinvestigated, and all of that. I do want to make mention that it is very important that you keep your cell phone charged on you at all times. I don't know about y'all, but now when I hit the road, I make sure that my phone is completely charged. I make sure when I drive past the cop that my phone is ready to go live, my phone is ready to record, and we just live in a crazy world. Martell, where are you act mentally, spiritually, emotionally with regard to the Elijahs, the Breonnas, the George Floyds, the everyone else that will come in the future? Where are you mentally?
Just as like you said, the everyone else that will come. Just that statement alone, because unfortunately we know there will be more. Like it's not like this isn't anything that is unfortunately going away. I think in the opposite sense, with the George Floyd situation, I think that is also almost helping to bring light to so many other situations, because it's like there are people like, oh my gosh, this is happening. Well, let's see what else is happening, and it's like, why don't we know this? And it's like, I hate that someone else had to die to bring light to so many other situations. But in that same sense, I'm glad light is being brought to other situations. I don't know if we would call it like a silver lining, or I don't. There's really no positive spin to it, but at the sense, like, again, we know I don't fear nobody but God. But in that same sense, it's like, how many times is this going to happen? How many reports do we have to watch? How many times do we have to fight? How many times do we have to go out and protest? How many buildings do we have to burn down? How often does this really have to happen? How long is this going to go on? And as you're saying, like, I don't see change happening well, not change. I don't see this stopping in our lifetime. Within the next 87 years that I'll live, I don't think that by the time I die, like, I won't be able to sleep like, oh well, I know that everyone here is completely treated equally. Everyone is perfectly okay. But it's almost one of those things where at some point, do you almost just become numb to it? Like, dang, someone else. Like,
Corday, are you afraid of the cops?
Yeah, I would say yeah. This story
America.
And this story in particular,
Listen up, America.
This story in particular, did bring up a lot of emotion for me, because I was in his same position, in the sense of just being someone going to the convenience store, minding my own business. I'm an introvert. I'm a pescatarian. The things that I read up on the story as well, that he said, and he was letting the cops know, just like, look, I'm these things, like, leave me alone. When I was like maybe 13 to 14, coming from, get this, y'all, step practice with the only guy on the step team, with one of my friends, Sadia. We were just going to the store because we were tired of fucking stepping. We had been stepping all damn day. So we were going to this convenience store to get soda or a drink or whatever. And coming back, the police literally almost ran up on the sidewalk, almost ran me over. And if you can think about how dramatic it was, they were on the opposite side of the road. We were on the opposite side of the road. Skirt, lights and everything. Ran up on the road and handcuffed me and put me in the car based off of a statement that a white lady made about someone vandalizing her car. Black guys vandalizing her car. Mind you, I just left step practice. We just going to the store. We didn't even know. I just came to dance. That's it. And I'm in the car, and I'm actually in the car with one of the people who actually were a part of it. He was like, bruh, I'm on probation. Don't say nothing. Just say I was with you. But like, regardless of all of that, like, I've been in that exact situation. It could have went a whole different way. But I've experienced that same, like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I feel like I've done something wrong just because I've walked to the store. I've been handcuffed just from walking to the store. So for me, it did hit home in the sense of like, damn, that could have been me. I'm glad I didn't run into that kind of officer. That's horrible. And in the same case, like maybe 15, 20 years later, I've walked to work from where I live, and I've walked past an officer literally standing in front of conducting like a funeral. You know how officers, like when they do funerals, like all of the officers there and they're in certain like uniforms and whatever. I'm walking past one of those kind of officers and I'm scared to walk past him. Like I'm crossing the street just to make sure that, and I'm just walking to work. So am I scared of officers? In a sense, yeah, I'm definitely scared of officers. This story hit home for me, and I don't know, that's just really it. This one was hard. This one was definitely hard.
Okay. Miss Olivia, what are you filled with, or what were you filled with when you heard of Elijah McClain and his story?
I think the one thing that hit hardest for me is that obviously not another, this is another snuff film that we had to watch, right? I think the thing that is the most important is that how we treat Black bodies that we don't understand. Because this is another case where not only do we have a Black man who is threatening, we also have a Black man who's eccentric, who, depending on what reports you get, because I'm seeing so many, is that he was on a spectrum, and that some people say he had Asperger's, some people say he was autistic in this case, and he wasn't, and so he was on a spectrum. So the way that we define the spectrum is a mental health issue, right? Which we're not going to go there. But the fact of the matter is that he articulated himself the best that he could. And we're dealing with peace officers who aren't necessarily trained to interact with situations where, one, he wasn't committing any crime. He was wearing a ski mask. It's cold outside. He's anemic. I am in agreement with having different kind of organizations that are not based in force. Police officers are trained for, what is it? On average, 20% of their training is how to de-escalate. 80% of their training is how to approach and force. So why do we expect anything different? Yes, they're trained sensitivity, and yes, they're trained about how to engage different communities. But for the most part, they are almost trained to consider everyone that they come into contact with, Black, white, or indifferent. They're trained to have everybody is a suspect. Everybody is the enemy. Everybody is the enemy. So now you're bringing all of these people, Black, white, or indifferent. The system is training you that the people that you're supposed to protect are your enemy. And then they absolutely, they knock it up 100%, especially in urban areas, when those police officers will be dealing with primarily brown and Black individuals. That means that training is souped up to maybe 90 to 100% of force training and 0 to 10% in sensitivity. We don't need people to police us. We police ourselves for the most part. We know how to police ourselves. I don't need somebody telling me how not to break a law. And then let's be realistic. There's still laws on the books to this day, especially in New York City. I can't speak for Atlanta too much, but in New York City, if you beat your wife on a Sunday, that is still allowed. That's a freaking law on the books that you are allowed to beat your wife. If you are married, you are allowed to beat your wife as long as it's a Sunday. And you will not be charged. So these are kind of like the things that we really need to get away from. We need to really understand what the laws are on the books. So it's just so much that we have to do as a community. First, we need to police ourselves. We don't need to spend all of our tax money in policing when we're decreasing the amount of money that we're spending in education. We're decreasing the amount of money that we're spending in sanitation. We're decreasing the amount of money that we're spending in almost every facet other than policing. Even in the city, now this is the number I do know, in Atlanta alone, we are trying to hire more police officers. For why? So they can kill Rashard Brooks?
Okay. Okay.
I think that.
So I was going to touch up on another topic, but I don't have the brain power to talk about Donald Trump right now.
No.
Why?
So what I will say to that is that Black Lives Matter does not incite hate. It encourages growth. It broadens awareness.
It's a basic principle. I would like to talk about this. For anybody that doesn't get it, it is a basic principle. We're not saying Black lives are more worthy than anyone else. We're not saying Black lives are needing of revenge. We're saying at minimum, I need you to recognize that I'm fucking human. That you need to give me the same ounce of respect and love and care that you do for my white counterparts, for my Asian counterparts, for my non-Black counterparts. That's a basic principle that I don't understand when people feel like, well, all lives matter. What is the need to say that?
There's no need.
It's not a hate crime. It is
Yeah.
tell you that my life matters. Listen to me.
It's sad that we have to say this.
A human.
Yeah. It's definitely sad that we even have to say that. So for him to be so charged to condemn that and then not condemn Charlottesville or all of the other things, to me,
problematic.
It's problematic. And it's just so much. It's like they want to Donald Trump and his camp and people like Candace Owens that, whatever, they're so charged to talk data points, but at the end of the day, when we're talking about humanity, we can't forget first and foremost morality. And I think that's what is missing with what he said. There's no morality. Black lives matter. And I'm going to be divisive versus what Olivia said. My life is a little bit more important because my ancestors did a lot more, and I have been fighting a little bit harder and doing a lot more. We are on a fucking panel like screaming for help. Give us a little bit more. Just give us that little bit of leeway that you've had all of your life. And I do think, like she said, like Black Lives Matter. Like acknowledge what we contributed.
Oh, no, we ain't got to. That's another long video. I was about to tell you, Travi, listen. Hey, Travi, we can talk about that topic on a whole nother video because that's going to be a long video.
Oh my God.
But what I do want to say is I want to appreciate y'all for coming on tonight. Tune in next week on Live Coach Club. If my counterparts can be available Thursday next week,
I'll be here.
Amazing, because we can definitely touch up on that. Because yes, it is the fact that all Black lives matter, and what's even worse is that we even have to say all Black lives matter.
That's what I'm saying.
Another concept, a whole other topic. Thank you all for tuning into Culture Club. This was a great dialogue, and
let me make one statement. I want to formally apologize. It's an apology.
He apologizing. Let him apologize.
I apologize for my incorrect and just incorrect comparison and narrative between the important George Floyd situation to the point that I was trying to make. Okay. That was a bad analogy and it was very incorrect. I was nervous.
Listen, friend. I was like,
I was only trying to make a point that my idea of trauma may be different from others. Seeing blood and aggressive behavior touches me a little bit differently than that. However, that was inappropriate. It was incorrect, and it was the wrong narrative, and it was just wrong altogether. So I do apologize for putting that up on the panel because I am pro fuck them police officers up all the way. It was just wrong. I apologize. Wrong narrative at the wrong time.
Thank y'all all for joining Culture Club. See you next week, Thursday. And you guys have a safe, blessed night. And yeah, I love y'all. Later.
Stream Flex. They can hear you. All right, y'all. Make sure you stream Flex on all digital music platforms. Thank you. Are y'all still here? If people are still here, look. Make sure you go ahead and watch Fernergy on ACTV, A Connection TV, you know, whatever. Follow me on all social media platforms at Martel Star. Make sure, you know, you follow me on Facebook, Martel Star Music. You know, shout outs and things. You can, you know, send me funds via Cash App, $ Martel Star, all of that. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm hoping that he'll cut me off soon, but if not, I'll just stay here all night. I really don't have anything else to say. I'm sorry, if you remove funds from the police force to put in other areas, this will address the problem of police procedure and subduing a suspect where the problem lies, not funding. No, and Jamar, I think maybe you're perhaps misunderstanding what I'm saying. Where in fact, where that young man who was apparently suffering from those funds could be better suited for mental health awareness, where even if that's better training for police. But I just feel like there's so many funds that are sent towards polices where that could be just better put elsewhere. But again, just a difference of it. Thank you so much, Christopher Taylor. Just a difference of opinion, I suppose. But I don't feel like there's places where police forces are literally funded with hundreds of millions of dollars in the same areas where schools can't afford to even have heat and have proper books and things of that sort. I just think prior to, come on, Flex. You know, I just think, you know, priority should be better suited in other places. But anyway, thank y'all all so much for watching. Yeah, we appreciate y'all so much. Am I still here by myself? If I go live right now, it is me by myself. This is so awesome. I ain't got nothing to talk about y'all, but I just appreciate y'all are still up in here with me. And Wes ain't cut me off yet. I am astounded. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to God for always holding me down. Shout out to my mama for having me. Shout out to my daddy for helping my mama have me. Like, I appreciate this. Shout out to Aaron Taylor who did my hair. See my little green, my little twist. Shout out to Barack Obama for still being my president. Shout out to Dirk and Jennifer Eaches, who inspired me to love music the way that I do. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to my babes. I know y'all still watching me. Shout out to my best friend who should still be watching, hopefully hold me down. Shout out to all my friends who are here watching me right now. Again, make sure you all stream Flex on all digital music platforms. Definitely need more funds for education. See, yes, another eventuality that will inevitably occur is that the police force will reduce its numbers of personnel operating in the force to compensate for the loss of funds. Then there you will have initial problems within the community by having less police personnel to secure an area. Well, hopefully by increasing funds elsewhere, that would reduce the need for police. Again, a lot of people commit crimes because they don't have education. A lot of people commit crimes because they don't have resources. So if we provide resources that people have, that immediately reduces crime. If people commit crimes because I can't afford to eat, so I got to steal to eat, but then now funds go to help people who line 45 has got to go. I don't know. Okay, get rid of him. But if funds are placed to better suit the community, honestly, if more funds are placed into the community rather than the police personnel, there wouldn't be as much need for the police personnel, because not to say that people aren't going to commit crimes, but again, I think a lot of things that people commit crimes for are due to lack of. So again, I'm going to people. If I have to feed myself, and there's no other way for me to get food, I'm going to go to the store and steal it. If I can afford to pay for my medicine, I may have to go to the pharmacy and just take it. Or I may have to, rob somebody for the money, not me personally, but just in general. A lot of crimes that people commit are due to lack thereof. When in fact, if the government can then help the people, help the community, it lessens the need for force afterwards. But again, that's just my own personal opinion. I just base this off of facts and figures that I research and things of that sort. But I also know I've never committed a crime. I guess in severity, like driving things, like even things like that, simple things where when police pull over Black people, again, I feel like traffic violations should belong to a completely separate department. Department of Transportation, perhaps. I feel like that could be something they focus on, where in fact that requires no force. You were speeding. I don't need to pull you. I don't need the police to pull me over. What do you need a gun for if I'm speeding? Just give me a ticket. So there are so many areas where everything's based on the police. Again, as Olivia had pointed out, where their higher percentage of training has to do with force and control, when everything doesn't require that. Again, continue stream flex all digital media platforms. Thank you. People are just leaving. I'm looking at the numbers. Y'all just leaving as we speak. But I mean, come on, stick with it.